history, and more. Once a request is funded, we'll take care of shipping everything directly to the teacher. It's that easy. You'll receive thank you letters and photos from students and teachers and a report of how every dollar was spent. Teachers' needs have never been greater. Learn more at donorschoose.org.
Donors Choose. Support a classroom.
Build a future.
Calling all big thinkers. The world's climate is changing. These aren't new facts, but it means we must think in new ways about how we can live, prosper, and provide energy for our world while protecting our planet. Engineers are answering the call to create cleaner, safer, reliable energy. Solar power, harnessing the power of the sun to light all corners of the globe. Wind power, channeling a simple breeze to bring electricity to our homes. Hydropower, using the natural flow of water to generate electricity. Nuclear power, engineering advanced reactors that are safer, more reliable, and produce zero carbon emissions. Engineers are leading the way and empowering the next generation. Engineers answer the call. Brought to you by the National Academy of Engineering. Learn more at nae.edu.
Stop touching that snooze button and get ready to clock in with the best morning show on the planet.
It's okay when we're singing, we're dancing, we're playing on the field, making everybody else laugh, making everybody else millions of dollars. But as soon as we have a voice, we're punished for it.
Giving you an informative dialogue with a side of fun and laughter while cutting through the noise and bringing you the real stories behind the headlines.
Look, it takes 5 minutes. Notice I'm not getting into details about what goes on in Switzerland, but those that know, you know what I'm talking about.
Get a little. And then
do it again. Do it again.
A little.
That's it.
You know what it is, Truth Nation. It's time to wake up with Milwaukee's favorite morning show.
My point is, if you're 40 or if you're still trying to push for something, it doesn't mean that it's over just because it's been delayed. Delayed doesn't mean denied.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, this is Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming on YouTube.
You gotta love black folks. We gonna make a way out. What you mean, man? All you gotta do is get
I gotta do it with a little all in it.
Go get the Robitussin so we can get this car fixed.
Here are your hosts, the effective communication coach, Denise Thomas, and two-time Emmy Award winner, Telly Hughes.
It is Wednesday, November the 6th. I would say good morning. I'll go ahead and say good morning. Good morning, Telly.
Good morning, DT. We said it's a good morning for some people, so good morning to you all who it's a good morning to.
We have a guest co-host in the building, Tony Smith. Good morning.
DT, good morning. Telly, good morning. What's up?
Good morning.
Ricky, what's happening?
And good morning, Ricky.
Good morning, DT.
So here's what we're going to do, Truth Nation. And Telly and I and Ricky had a collective discussion. Because first of all, we understand that for many of you, we start your day off. And we have consistently woke up every morning with the intention to do just that in a good way. Whether it's great news, not so great news, we understand the responsibility of starting your day off. And we appreciate those who tune in to the morning show consistently. We value and appreciate our listeners and our viewers. So with that being said, we're going to get into the facts, and then we're also going to get into our feelings. Because this is the Milwaukee Black Talk radio show. And I'm just going to say this to those who do not identify as black. This is one of those shows where you're going to have to just let us have this time, okay? Because we're going to say some things that are going to be very transparent and very necessary and very real, because there are an array of emotions that a lot of Americans, and specifically black Americans, are experiencing right now. Some may feel, hey, it's Tuesday. I've been black. This is nothing new to me. As a black person, I'm used to overcoming these types of outcomes. There are some black people who are like, yes, this is a great day for black people. I will say this before we get into the facts. Black women, rest. Please, it is time for us to rest. Because we consistently put everybody else before ourselves, and then we get into this episode of being completely exhausted. And then while we're exhausted, people will say, well, there goes the angry black woman. It's like we have to smile all the time, like Madam Vice President Kamala Harris had to smile extra for the past 100 days. So before we get into the facts and the feelings, as a black woman, I have to tell all the other black women that are listening, even the young black girls that are going to school right now, get your rest. You've done enough. If you have not already heard, Donald Trump has been elected to be the 47th president of the United States of America. He is now the president-elect. And our Truth Talking text line is 833-212-1017. How do you think ultimately President Trump won the election and Madam Vice President Kamala lost the election? And we're going to start off with some facts. So first and foremost, Telly, how are you feeling?
I am feeling, wow. I don't know. I was trying to put into words how I felt in terms of shocked, not shocked that he won, shocked at how he won, and some of the numbers and facts that we'll get into. It is mind-blowing to me, the amount of black voters that voted for Trump. It is just, so here are some of the numbers. 21% of black voters in Wisconsin voted for Trump. 21% of black voters. 59% first-time voters voted for Trump in Wisconsin. And 49% of voters between the ages of 18 and 29 voted for Trump. For me, those are the three demographics that I'm thinking are the ones that would not vote for him or would be undecided all the way up until the point where they would say, all right, I can't vote for him. But to hear those numbers, to me, it is just, I am feeling more shocked because leading up to yesterday, I'll be completely honest, I knew of a lot of black men that were like, man, I just don't know about Kamala. I think I might vote for Trump, man. I might vote for Trump. And
apparently, obviously.
Yeah, but obviously. It was almost like, golly, like, I know y'all, are you serious in the terms of, I get that, yeah, you want some change and you want something different, but you've already seen what he's going to do. You've already seen that movie once. And you mean to tell me that movie was so good, you want a part two? So that was just my take, and
sequel.
But just shocked at those numbers. But when I went to bed last night, when I fell asleep, I woke up knowing that he was going to be the president today. So I kind of prepared myself.
Yeah,
Tony, how are you?
Yeah, I woke up in the middle of the night, right when they were kind of announcing it, and probably about 5 minutes before he walked out on stage and started blabbing. Saying a bunch of nothing, but man, I was in disbelief. I mean, I didn't really know. To be honest with you, I probably would have been surprised at Kamala won too. Probably wouldn't have been. I would have been surprised either way. I didn't really know who was going to win. I didn't know what was going on. There's so much chaos in the whole political scene like I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know who was up. Like Telly was saying the numbers. Obviously, I wasn't looking at numbers like that. But when you think of certain demographics of people and like who would vote for Trump and who wouldn't, like those groups he mentioned, I was the same way. I'm like, there's no way that group's voting for him. Yeah. He's not getting that vote, especially with all the stuff that he says. And a lot of times he doesn't say anything. He's just up there just rambling about nothing. He's talking about Arnold Palmer and coming out of the shower. So it's just weird that what people think. That's why today I posted on my Facebook something about, like, I'm like, what do y'all think is going to happen? What do you think Trump is going to do? Whether you like him or you don't like him, what is it that you think he's going to do? I just want to see what people are thinking that he's going to do for them. Yeah. That's the part that
we're going to get into that, because one of the most important subject matters as it relates to President-elect Donald Trump is how the world is reacting to Trump's election win. And there have been world leaders that actually are congratulating or have sent their messages through X or other social media platforms congratulating him. And, you know, Telly, one of the things that I was very vocal about during this election was national security and how the world leaders would receive whomever won. And so we will get into that, because the president of Ukraine, the prime minister of Israel, the prime minister of India, the president of France, the prime minister of Japan, the prime minister of Canada, and the president of Turkey have all released congratulatory statements to President-elect Donald Trump. And the president of Turkey, by the way, his message was, quote, "I congratulate my friend Donald Trump, who was elected U.S. president once again after a big fight in the presidential elections in the United States of America. In this new era that will start with the choice of the American people, I hope for Turkish-American ties to strengthen for regional and global crisis and wars, primarily the Palestine issue and the Russia-Ukraine war, to end. I believe more effort will be exerted for a fair world." And that again came from Tayyip Erdogan, who is president of Turkey. So the world leaders are already sending out their congratulations messages now. Telly and Tony, let me be clear. We heard from about 7 world leaders. There's a whole lot of other leaders that have yet to come out with their congratulations. But I will be very curious to see, in particular, how NATO responds. Because, you know, when Trump was in office the first time, there's a lot of disagreements, I'll say, between Trump and the NATO organization. So back to the U.S. Our Truth Talk and text line is 833-212-1017. How did we get here? And what do we need to do now as a community? On our Truth Talk and text line, Marcus says, the people have spoken and we have to accept the results. But she really should have addressed her supporters. That was wrong. Marcus, you spelled accept wrong. It's not accept, it's accept. A-C-C-E-P-T. Let's start with grammar first. Accept means exception. Accept, in the context you're using, is A-C-E-P, or excuse me, accept. I told you, Telly, I'm not doing this today. Yeah. Thomasina. Time to stack up, stock up, and pray. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning. I am having a delightful morning this morning. I think it was fair. I think that he won fair and square. I really don't understand why people are this morning. We've been under racist presidents, if that's what y'all want to call him, before. AKA
Pat, let me stop you right there. Telly and I have never called him racist president, okay? So just, well, I hear you, but
I'm not talking to you.
Oh, okay.
I never heard you say it, but I'm talking about people who have called in and said it. Also, I think where the Democratic Party went wrong was thinking that all we wanted to do was party hardy and not get to any subject matters. Like none of our cares, none of our grievances were addressed with Kamala. Every time I looked around, they had a Beyonce, a J-Lo, all these people in front of us that are said to be into a sex ring where our children are going missing. Children are missing at the border. Why are we so upset? Because she didn't say enough and didn't do enough for us. What do we think what do we think Donald Trump is going to do? The same thing she was going to do. Probably nothing. But at least he had enough sense to say something. So I'm excited about I look forward to the future. I don't depend on men. I depend on y'all. So y'all have a great day.
All right, you too. Thank you, Pat.
Yeah.
Appreciate you sharing your feelings. Again, our Truth Talking text line is 833-212-1017.
Yeah. No, I think that we're going to have a bunch of different reactions, and like we started off the show, it is a good morning for some people, and Pat has spoken, and that's how she feels, but it's still like she said, it's not like we as black people haven't had to deal with things in the past, but I also think that just because you know how to deal with something doesn't mean that you want to deal with it. But it should be, a time to turn the page and try to look at the future with optimism. I mean, I know it doesn't feel that way right now, but, I mean, look, we don't have a choice now.
Well, here's the thing. He is the president-elect. But to Pat's point, which is very similar to what my mother said, depending on if you even believe in a higher power. And I think you had mentioned this too, Telly. Steve Harvey had brought this up on his show. Black people are not new to this.
No.
We're not new to having leaders elected that could have very little regard or even relatability to black people. But yet a number of us voted for him. So we come back. Where did Madam Vice President's campaign go wrong from your lens? Where did Madam Vice President Harris's campaign go wrong? When we come back, I'm going to give you my thoughts. Definitely want to hear from Tony and Telly. What do y'all think? What do you think, Truth Nation? What do you think is the reason why Madam Vice President, her campaign was not successful? We've got a lot of callers calling in as well. We want to know how you feel. 833-212-1017. You're listening to the best morning show on planet Earth, Truth Be Told, with DT and Telly on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth, the Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. The Milwaukee Panthers hit the road Thursday night as they travel to Iowa to take on the Northern Iowa Panthers.
Jump pass for Polian left of the circle. Tries to answer and does. It's pure. A bomb from KP. He's got 15. Cleared by Calvin. Forecourt holding. He'll lob it up. Noel will send it down.
Scott Warris has the coverage Saturday starting at 6:30 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 7 o'clock.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
Milwaukee faces significant wealth gaps, but change is possible. Join entrepreneur Arlo Washington on November 13th for a transformative discussion on building wealth in underserved communities. Featured in the Oscar-nominated documentary The Barber of Little Rock, Washington's insights are a must-hear. Attend for free in person or online. Get your ticket at uwm.edu/SCE. Sponsored by the Tommy G. Thompson Center on Public Leadership and hosted by UWM School of Continuing Education.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Oh, yeah. I get around.
Welcome back to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. We have our guest co-host Tony Smith in the building, and we all have been just trying to process the results of the election as Donald J. Trump has been elected the 47th president of the United States. And we have yet to hear from Madam Vice President Kamala Harris in any sort of concession speech, but I'm sure that'll be coming soon. Let's go back to our talk lines. James, you are on Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. And Tony, good morning. What's your question or comment?
Hey, my comment is that it fell exactly how I figured it fall. You know, she said or did nothing that was appealing to the black voter, especially the male like myself, and it fell the way it fell. You know, you don't set up concerts and bands and party on the stage and try to get my vote or other intelligent black men votes the way she did. You know, you got DJ booths set up in the inner city throughout the city of Milwaukee. You hit the suburbs, and they was walking in taking care of business. They partying today, but they walked in and took care of business. So it fell the way it fell, and the best man won. She should have been more serious about her game.
James, real quick before we let you go. So was it something that she did wrong, or is it something that Trump did right? Because people keep saying that she didn't appeal to this, that, and the other. So does that mean that Trump appealed more to you?
They neither one did. But if you look at how they had the game plan laid out, he was on point. He dotted his I's and crossed his T's and did what he had to do. Our people or her stage, you know, that was way out of pocket. You know, insulted the voter with Cardi B's and all these singers had nothing to do with nothing. So it is how it is, and land how it lands, and you guys, we all have to accept the way it is. I voted the right way myself with my conscience and how I felt. So have a good day.
All right. You too. Thank you, James.
Do you know how hard it is? No, I'm serious. Do you know how hard it is for black women who have built y'all up? Literally built y'all up. We gave you life. Every time something happens to a black man, and when we witness black men getting brutalized by racist white police officers, who's the person they cried out to? Mama. Every time a black man needs something, immediately, y'all come to us to fix it. Yeah, you may have your other girlfriends that give you that, you got it, babe, I'm so proud of you. But when y'all needed something consistently, I can't tell you how many black men I done built. And to hear a black... I don't know if I'm going to make it through this show today. I'm just being completely transparent. It may be, I'm going to give it probably about another 30 minutes because I knew this would happen. I knew this would happen. I cannot believe I am hearing black men on a black talk radio show that they would rather choose. Like, it should have been no question. The Hispanics and the Latinos, who do you think they voted for? Kamala. Good morning, Nate. You're live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment? Unbelievable.
I'm on your side all the way. And you said something wrong just there. The Latinos, they voted for Trump too. I just heard that this morning. I watched it all night long. But the young black people and young black women calling in talking about Trump this and Trump that. Let me tell you young people something. He just passed that immunity law. You're going to be the first people that the police going to be knocking upside their head. And another thing, I'm a veteran, and he called me a sucker and a loser. I got a list of things I can say, but my blood pressure is like yours is, GT. But you check them for me, baby. You take care of yourself.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you, brother. And by the way, we may have two different sources of information because I know in today's age, but according to ABC News, the majority of Hispanic and Latino voters voted for Kamala Harris. But again, I know there's different sources, but that was my source of information.
Yeah, I heard one last night,
all right.
too.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a majority, but there was a large percentage that still voted for him out of the Latino community. It was larger than you would think after,
But Tony, here's my thing. I just cannot believe, and I'm holding back tears. I cannot believe that black men are calling into the show. If you voted for Trump, that is your right. That is your business. You calling into a black talk radio show with a black woman that is the co-host and telling us everything that Kamala did wrong. Last time I checked, everything that you criticized Kamala Harris for doing, Trump did the same thing. He had campaigns. He had performing artists. And quite frankly, yes, DJs were at our communities because we are a community that resonates with DJs. It's a part of our culture. So you're going to persecute her and not give her your vote? I'd rather black men, if y'all going to call in with this foolishness, I'd rather you just say, I don't like black women. I love it when y'all do cook and clean and build me up and take care of my kids and, make sure that you got my resume done and got me prepared for the interview. And then when like Kanye said, and then I go to a white girl, I'd rather you just say that. Keep it 100. But you're not going to sit up here with me on this show and tell the world that the reason why you didn't vote for Kamala is because she had DJs at the voting booths. And first of all, that wasn't even driven by Harris. So just say you don't like black women. Just keep it 100.
That is just so far-fetched.
Sick of this mess.
It is so
black women don't do nothing for nobody today. Don't do a doggone thing for nobody today. Sit your butt down.
Because here you go. You have someone who sold gold sneakers. It is so amazing. And trading cards of and mugshots, T-shirts of his mugshot.
Get your Donald Trump trading card.
All right, because we got 20,000 people on the phone here, and I'm really praying.
Let's go.
All right, Martin.
Yeah, Martin.
Good morning. Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate your support. Our director of content just texted me because I'm just like, if I can get through this show, I can do anything in life. All right, I don't want to skip anybody. I think we got. Is it Dan or Martin?
No, it's
Who's
Martin.
Next?
Martin's on right now.
Good morning, Martin. You're live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
Good morning, fam. I have a dream that one day these Negroes will wake up. See, that man that called in, he an undercover racist. He hate his own people, and he hate himself. Ain't no way you gonna vote for the enemy after all what was done to us in our life. See, what they don't understand, this fight has just got harder. These 4 years going to be hell for a lot of people. It's already hell right now. But what that shows, Martin, is that it's a lot of racist people in this country. It's a lot of hate in this country. It's a lot of misunderstandings in this country. And you black men, you felonious black men, don't call in if you're from the house. Don't call in at all because you disrespecting me. You disrespecting Tory. You disrespecting Telly. You disrespecting every black man in Milwaukee that's about that. And you black women rest today.
Thank you. Please say that louder, brother. Please say that louder. Don't do nothing black women today.
Don't do nothing black women. I lost my black mama, my black woman at 11 years old. At 11 years old, I lost my mama. So I ain't have nothing to turn to but the community and my strength and my black women that's in this community. So, brothers, we got to band together. It shows us how much work we got to do. We got to hit the ground with everything, boots, back, arms, everything. We got to hit the ground, and we got to keep running. But we got to run with a purpose. We got to run with a purpose. And we got to stay woke, not vote. I love y'all.
Love you too, Martin. We got to take a break. We got plenty of callers. We see you, callers. If you had to drop off, you can call back in. We come back. We're going to go straight to you. This is Truth Be Told with DT and Telly, guest co-host Tony Smith in the building. And again, callers, we see you. We're going to come right to you. We come back. Stay locked in.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Get the look you want for your home with customizable windows and doors from Pella. The durability of materials gets tested tens of thousands of times to ensure they last for years to come. Pella offers custom colors and innovative features like shades between the glass. And right now, celebrate Gina Della's 60th birthday with 0 for 60. Put 0 down, get 0 interest for up to 60 months. Hold your appointment on or before November 8th. Certain restrictions apply. Visit PellaWI.com.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Denise Thomas with her truth.
How many times have you said to yourself, I do not have enough time? I feel as though there's not enough time in the day. You're not alone. One of the things I've realized is part of why I never have enough time is because I was wasting it arguing with people who are committed to misunderstanding me. Make the decision on whether or not you want to continue waking up and pouring into people with debates, with arguments, with explanations that, again, are committed to misunderstanding you, committed to not respecting your ideas or understanding why you are who you are. So for me, as I continue to thrive every day, as someone who takes pride in continuous improvement, I am no longer arguing with people who are committed to misunderstanding me or wanting to reject my thoughts and my ideas. I find it interesting that usually those people who are committed because they recognize the greatness that exists in you, that exists in me. So again, part of saving your time and getting that time back is not arguing, debating, or explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. However, you should believe in yourself and your abilities because that is your superpower. The power to winning and staying focused on winning is not focusing on those setbacks or even those individuals that are attempting to prevent you. But the power to win lies within you, waiting to be unleashed through dedication and effort. Keep winning. You got this.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth Be Told with DT and Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Still looking pretty good across the area. Eastbound 94, we do have a few taps of the brakes from 84th Street to about Holly Road, and then again a little bit right through the stadium. Westbound's going to be slow right through the stadium interchange as well. Southbound 43 backing up from just south of Hampton to Capitol Drive, and eastbound 894, we're looking at some delays from 92nd Street to about 68th Street. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, mostly cloudy, a high of 55. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 40. For the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 1017 The Truth.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Wow.
If you're just tuning in, former President Donald Trump will be the 47th president of the United States. He officially is now president-elect.
And the
Donald Trump,
old but
78 years old. The national election results show that not only is he projected to win as president-elect, the House and Senate now has been, the Republicans have gained control now of both the House and the Senate. So this is going to be a very interesting 4 years. Let's go to our Truth Talking text line, which is 833-212-1017. We have a lot of people that we need to hear from, so let's go. The caller, thank you for your patience. You're live with DT, Telly, and Tony. What is your question or comment?
Thank you for your patience, my sister, my queen. There's a whole lot of men who are not cowards, who will follow a coward, who backed out of his opportunity to serve this country when the Vietnam War was going on. And a lot of those people are the people I describe when I call and have said a few times, there was not one black woman who probably ran out to the slave ships when they arrived in West Africa, but black men who got us in this position, well, cowards, but black men who helped us survive along with strong black women like you who support and who inspire not only us but our children. So that's my verbal hug to you. James is a liar because DJ Brother Z was on Tory Lowe's show and there were 100 DJs all across the state. So it wasn't just the black community where these DJs were. And God forbid that James has a daughter who is ever violated by some creep who follows Donald Trump and believes you can touch women when you want to and needs to have an abortion or has a miscarriage and her life is in danger. God forbid that. God forbid that James is ever pulled over when he's driving in one of these rural areas that I'm sure he loves because he definitely hates our community. So I just want you to make it through this show, and that's my verbal hug to you. And Vice President Harris ran probably the best campaign in history, particularly due to the fact of the short amount of time she had. I'm proud of her. I'm proud of you. God bless Telly for being there with you. T. Smith, shouts out, my brother.
Thank you, the caller.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, the caller.
Love y'all.
Love you back. I think, did we lose James? We lost James. Okay. Paul, good morning. Thank you for your patience. You were live with DT, Telly, and Tony. What is your question or comment? Paul, are you there?
Yes, I am. Oh, hello?
Yeah,
hello?
you're good now.
Yeah, good.
You're good.
You're good.
Okay, all right. Grand Rising, DT and Telly. I just had a couple of comments. I am I'm literally hurt about this. I am truly hurt. DT, I wanted to tell you, you are truly, truly, truly validated in the way you feel right now. You are a beautiful queen. You keep doing you. You keep doing you, and I am simply shocked and amazed. God help us all. God help us all after all of this. I tell you, because that's pretty much all I can say. I'm kind of like at a loss for words. I'm just really at a loss for words, and I just wanted to call in and say, you know what? I'm telling you, you get a verbal hug. I mean, a virtual hug for me or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
I receive it. I feel the hug.
Telly,
I love it. Thank you.
Telly, man, I'm telling y'all, man, oh my goodness. Y'all just keep doing what y'all doing. Y'all bless us every morning with great spirit, great news, things like that. But today, ooh, oh my goodness. God help us all.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. Yeah. I thank y'all for taking my call this morning.
Appreciate it, Paul. Appreciate you calling. Appreciate you listening. And yeah, let's and DT received her virtual hug. I received my virtual pound. I'll take a fist pound. Ron from the South Side. You are on Truth Be Told with DT, Telly, and Tony. Good morning.
Good
Thanks for taking my call. I love the fact that people are calling in and trying to talk like, they didn't get wind decided and they didn't know who they voted for. You was going to vote for your white master. You was going to vote for the troll, Donald Trump. Kamala and her campaign overturned every stone. They laid out policies. You pretend you didn't hear anything from her. You kept raising the bar for her. You kept putting red tape in front of her, but Donald Trump just walked right on in. So I hope you're going to be happy with what he's going to unleash upon your black community. And you think that Kamala lost this race, but your black son and your black daughters and nephews and nieces, they might lose their black life, because total immunity from the police, that's a real thing. And this economy that you think is all bad, just wait till he start messing up with them tariffs. You thinking that it's expensive now? Wait till he get done with his revenge list, then he gonna come for you. So yeah, take that. And DT, keep your head up, baby.
Yes, baby. Thank you, love. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Love you back. Callie, good morning. You are live with DT and Telly. Thank you so much for your patience. And Tony Smith, what is your question or comment?
Good morning to you all. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. First, DT, I'm with you, Queen. I understand your pain. I get it. I voted for Kamala. Simply because, and I'm going to just be honest, simply because she was a woman. And I felt like a woman could run this country just as good as any man could.
Damn straight.
I'm frustrated. I'm angry. This country continuously, instead of progressing, they regress. It shows its true colors. People that sit here and say that racism is dead, it's not. The way this man ran this country the first time, his first 4 years, we had some of the worst civil unrest in this country that we hadn't seen since the 50s and the 60s under his presidency. Not to mention we got plunged into a pandemic as well, but people tend to forget these things. Not only that, we had a insurrection on January 6th that people tend to forget about as well. I feel bad for this country. I feel like, especially black women, there's a lot of black men that voted for this man, and the black men that voted for this man, y'all really sound and look real silly. You look like Bozo the Clown this morning. And the dude that came on earlier, DT, I apologize on behalf of that man, even though he will not do that. I apologize to you for that. I can't believe he came on and said what he said with that awfully bad morning breath. But y'all have a good morning. And DT, I love you to death. I love you, Queen.
I love you too, brother. Thank you so much. I love you back, and thank you for that. Not the morning breath coming through the airwaves, Telly. He said he smelt the dragon through the airwaves. Fire! Boom, boom, boom. All right, we got to keep this going, and we are loving the because we want to hear from you. We want to understand how you feel, so let's keep this going on our Truth Talking text line. I believe, is it Paul who's next?
My name
we lost Paul. Okay.
Queen, y'all. He left.
Well, I guarantee you this is going to be an interesting caller. Al, good morning. You are live with DT, Telly, and Tony. What is your question or comment?
Well, one first thing I'm going to say is I'm still down for the black woman, okay, because I'm a product of one. So the fight ain't over yet. We still got hell left of it left. We got here through self-hate, the slave mentality, and the hatred of women. But I still embrace black women because they always been the lioness of the nest. We still got fight and hell left within us. For you, Pat, I don't know who you is, nor do I care. Just come out and say you want the power of the white men and the white skin, but it's mighty funny, they ain't did nothing for you neither. And if you do payment arrangements, he don't pay no bills. We're going to just have to get down and just, stay focused on how we are. And when it comes to the police, we're not going to get upset. Go back to your first testament, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, because you are not going to be the final say of my loved one. And from here, DT and Telly, I want to thank you
But I'm going to tell you like this. I keep stating on both shoulders. I'm not a fan of Jesus, but I'm going to get on that. I'm going to get on that voodoo, that witchcraft, because Satan always know how to come through. And I keep him on both my shoulders. So that's for you, Pat. You got yay, I got that Satan, baby. And I still want everybody to have a good day. Goodbye.
All right. Thank you so much, Al. We appreciate your call, as always. We got to take one more call before we go to break, but please keep calling in, because when we come back, where did Madam Vice President's campaign go wrong to where the country, registered American voters, have spoken and that have elected the 47th president of the United States to be former President Donald Trump? Robert, thank you for your patience. We got to be quick. Thank you for your patience. You're live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment? Are you there, Robert?
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Oh, okay. Got my name wrong, but okay, I'll take it. Good morning. I'll make it quick. So first and foremost, I'd like to say, hey, everything is going to be all right. Got to keep God first in this and keep our heads up. Our people have been through worse times. Definitely have been through worse times. But the one thing that I do want to say, Kamala didn't do anything wrong. She did not do anything wrong. Democrats went wrong when there was no preparation. Trump did his campaigning for 4 years. 4 years. They gave Kamala 90 days. 90 days. And for 90 days, that was a great run. It was a great run. But that wasn't fair. And that's typically how it's gone for black folks in America, where you have to start off farther back than everybody else. It's not fair. It's not right. But we got to put the blame somewhere. Put it on our party. Put it on the Democratic Party for not properly planning this out.
Brother, what is your name? What is your actual name? I want to make sure I pronounce your name correctly.
It's Paul.
Paul. Okay. Sorry about that. I mispronounced your name. It's Paul.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
Well, Paul, thank you. Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
problem.
We have to take a break, but if you want to call back, feel free to, because I hate to interject. We just got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to hear more from you. Our Truth Talk and text line is blowing up, literally. Keep calling 833-212-1017. We just want to ask you for your patience today, because DJ Ricky is doing a lot at the same time. So just bear with us. We'll definitely get to your call. We've got guest co-host Tony Smith in the building. This is the best morning show on planet Earth. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. We'll be back.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's a big week for Educators Credit Union during College Scholarship Month on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Tap into Truth Be Told with DT and Telly this Wednesday at 8 a.m. as they will be joined by Victor Frazier, Director of Community Engagement at Educators Credit Union. They will highlight the $70,000 in scholarship Educators Credit Union gives to 35 outstanding high school seniors in southeastern Wisconsin. You won't want to miss this interview.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
People will tell you that race is a social construct and that there's no biological reality that distinguishes between a white individual and a black individual. So what does that mean if there are these quote-unquote disparities, right? It means that the way we move through a society is markedly different, right? And that the experience that we have has biological consequences. Is when you're in a society where people are constantly discriminating against a certain group, denying access, don't have control over the institutions that govern our lives. All of those things create a biological reality and a response, whether it's a stress hormone or a fear or something that could be passed on, what we call epigenetics, which means what my mother or my grandmother experienced had an effect on what formed me in my responses to those stressors. That's how we can be two individual people with very little difference, but have totally, vastly different experiences as we move through our reproductive health.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
It's your girl Noni Juice here from my people at Steinhafels. And you guys, Black Friday furniture and mattress savings, they start right now at Steinhafels. You can get all the latest looks at the season's best prices, like mattresses starting at just $199, recliners at $449, sofas at $499, and more. Plus, you can pay with Steinhafels' special 18-month 0% financing when you purchase $799 or more. No money down, no hidden fees. Shop Steinhafels' Black Friday savings now, in store or online at steinhafels.com.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
As a bull rider, I prefer to do things single-handedly. That's why I love the UW Credit Union app. Doggy! It lets me check accounts, make transfers and more on the go. And if I need an extra hand, UW Credit Union has 13 Milwaukee area branches. Yippee! So, if you want simple mobile banking, mosey on over to UW Credit Union. They're here for every y'all. Federally insured by NCUA.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Well, Truth Nation, here we are. Former President Donald Trump will be officially inaugurated on January, I believe it's 16th or 19th. It's one of those days, 2025. But let's get back to the Truth Talking text line. We're obviously talking about the results and our reactions to the general election yesterday. So let's just get right to it because our Truth Talking text line is blowing up. Here we go. Dan, good morning. You're live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
Hey, what's happening, y'all? Good morning. My girls are in the car. They wanted to tell you good morning, but they already gone to school. But they told me to make sure to tell you good morning.
Babies. Good morning.
I know it's been a while since I called, man, but baloney it has been today in the world. It has been baloney. And, I'm going to quote something for, on that Dr. Dre, the Chronic album, when they had that skit up when he told you, if you ain't trying to protect these young kids, man, these little boys and these little girls, dog, you need to step out the way and let us real people get in there, man, and make something happen, dog. We got to stick together. Yeah, man, like it's real out here. If you ain't stacking your bread and you ain't making these moves, bro, you will get lost in the sauce. Kamala ain't do nothing wrong. Only thing happened was that, hey, like Trump said, he led the uneducated. He called y'all dumb to y'all face, and y'all sat there and smiled and went along with it and everything. So you get what you get. He led the uneducated. Like I keep saying, reading is fundamental. That's it.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your call, Dan. Brian, thank you for holding. You are live with DT, Telly, and Tony Smith. What is your question or comment?
How y'all doing? Love your show. I'm going to say a few things. First of all, you can't blame conservative black men for sticking to their Scarface mentality. That ain't going to change. That testosterone in us black men is not going to change. On the flip side of that, back in 2009, there was a television show on the air by Jesse Ventura called True Lies. That episode predicted the pandemic. There was a video of Kanye West and Jay-Z in 2011 that described the pandemic that we went through to a T. So the pandemic, you can't say that Trump had had caused the pandemic or had anything to do with that, whatever the what that was. So a lot of things that happen presently and in the future have already been foreshadowed. However, if we want to complain so much about Trump winning, we need to blame ourselves. Because for one, we don't have the population. We don't have the numbers. Number two, Kamala can run again in 4 years. So there's a lot of things, a lot of factors out here that went into her winning. She ran a perfect race. I'm a staunch conservative, and I voted for Kamala because at the time, I thought Trump was trying to tank the race. And number two, she ran a brilliant race. She had a short time, but she ran a brilliant race. But what we should have looked at is the odds makers in Las Vegas. Who were they predicting to win? A lot of times when everybody thinks somebody's going to win, the odds makers bet against you so they can clean up in Las Vegas. So it just wasn't her time in this particular time in history. But she's got 4 more years, and she'll be back in 4 years. So don't blame the brothers, because we far from being house you-know-what.
Brian, with all due respect, I can blame whoever I want to blame. I can feel however I want to feel. And at this moment, I hope, Brian, that you understand the last thing that anybody needs to hear from anybody else is don't do this, don't do that, you shouldn't do this. Let people have their truth. Their truth is valid. It may not be in alignment with your truth, but Brian, you have habitually, from your lens, from your perspective, which I respect, but when you tell others that disagree with you that they can't do something, that is combative. And so I ask, as you continue to express why you voted and how you voted and the rationalization, that's fine. But you don't get to tell me what I can and cannot do. It's very combative, it's a trigger, and it's not healthy. So thank you for your call. Have a great day. Well, I'm saying I'm giving you some free coaching. It's not healthy when you tell people you can't do this or you shouldn't feel this way. It's their truth. It may not be your truth. I'm not taking it personal. I'm just giving you some considerations that when you are speaking your opinion, especially right now, because here's the thing, Brian, how you say things, because right now there are a lot of people that are very hurt and disappointed and upset. You won. You got the outcome that you wanted, or maybe not, but just be considerate of how you engage with conversations with people who don't agree with you. Because this right now is a time where we're already divided and people are very emotional right now, whether they admit it or not. And you coming at people like, don't say this, it ain't right. That's all I'm saying. When we come back from break. I'm sorry?
And don't smack his lips while he's talking.
Man. Blake, we see you. We're going to come to you as soon as we come back from break. Also, in our second hour, we've got a great announcement. Telly, I know you're excited about this conversation coming up at 8:15. We're going to make it through this day, y'all.
Yes.
Whether you voted for Trump or whether you voted for Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, we are going to get through this because, as we all know as black folks, we are not new to adversity. Let's continue to talk about how we feel. What is your reaction to former President Donald Trump being the president-elect? And where did Madam Vice President Harris' campaign go wrong? We'll be back.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's Dr. Ken Harris, and you can watch me now live on YouTube every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m., and you can watch the best radio show in Wisconsin by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Watch me explore the issues which are shaping our community while also having fun discussions, pop culture, current events, all kind of stuff going on right here on YouTube right now by subscribing to 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube.
It started with a prediction.
Gonna go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
My name is Ariel. When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without my high school diploma. My entire life changed when I took a chance and got my high school diploma at age 22. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers. They were with me every step of the way, helping with my English and math, making sure I push through all the challenges.
Ariel, your success proves that what I'm doing as a teacher has real meaning.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Truth Nation, stand up and tap in. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
All right, Truth Nation, thank you again so much for tuning in. This is day one after the general election, and the results have came in. Former President Donald Trump is president-elect and will be the next president, the 47th president of the United States of America. Blake, thank you so much for holding. You are live with DT, Telly, and Tony. What is your question or comment?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, DT?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
You all right? I'm just always here for you. You know, ever since I've been calling in. Tony, what up, OG from Milwaukee, doing your thing. What's happening? Telly, DJ Ricky, what's happening? But the truth of the matter is, guess what my wife is? She's resting. My wife rests every day. She's going to college, so she can just rest. I work, and I do what I do, so she don't have to get out here. Now, bootstraps have to be tied and pulled up. The time is to be played is a wrap. This man is back in control, not of our lives, just back in control of certain things. So to everybody that's calling and smacking like their mama never taught them anything, chewing like a barn animal, I hate to see one of you brothers on the street, but I'm so glad I'm changed because you wouldn't want to deal with me. But moving forward on that, she did what she was supposed to do. She's good enough to be vice president, but not good enough to be president. So, like my man said earlier, racism will be shown because that's what racism is. They don't care, so they say what they say. They say how they feel, and they say what they're going to do to you. So, therefore, once the revolution is ready, like Pac said, who gonna light that keg? It's already lit. It's already done blew up in our face. So now he won't go to jail for what he done. But everybody out here feeling like you can do what you want to women, you will reap what you sow. But those of you that are ready, you only get one shot at life. You're here for a reason. You're not here just to come and go and get put in caskets and get put in urns. We're here for a reason. And yesterday was a good feeling, but it didn't happen. So therefore, we have to make it happen eternally. And all you jerks calling, if I see you in traffic, I ain't scared of nobody. I fear no one. But we have to do this together. If we did everything together, the world will stop and go the other way. It's just too much like right. So therefore, that's why I do what I do in my life. I take care of me. I take care of mine. I don't ask nobody for nothing. DT, you are one of the best women I know. You remind me so much of my mom. My mom you're not as old as her, but you're just a true sister. And watching all the women in the polls yesterday stand up and be accounted for, and what we went through, and watch them hang people, and watch them burn people, and watch them disarrange us from the world, from where we are. We have to know what we truly are as a people. It doesn't matter about our vote. It matters about our continuous self as one in the person. Bless you. That's why I'm teaching the children right now. That's why I'm reaching out to my community and doing what I do, and stand on me as I do as a man. Milwaukee, stand up.
Thank you so much. You know, Telly and Tony, I got to thank Blake and all the other brothers who have called in, and including you and Tony, visible support, because it is refreshing to hear, despite what the outcome of the election was, it's good to know it's the love is appreciated and it is received. And I thank each and every one of you as black men that have called in and identified yourself as such in supporting black women in general, because we are tired. We always consistently show up. Everyone has benefited from a black woman in some capacity. And it's not about being feminist. It's not about being, whatever other descriptions you want to use. It's about constantly, can you imagine, Telly and Tony, being a person that is so committed and loyal unconditionally to when it matters the most, being slapped in the face? And that's what black women, a lot of us, are feeling right now. I know there are some that are like, it's a great day, like, when Pat called in, and she has every right to be happy if that's truly, who she voted for, being Trump, and that's who she wants to be the next president. She has every right as a black woman to be happy. However, for those that are not, which I would confidently say the vast majority, this again just reminds us how you feel. But yet when you want to get things done, that's why I said, black women, rest. Rest. If you live with a black woman, just tell her, baby, text her, call her, just be like, just rest. I got you. Because we are tired. We are really, really tired. Tony, Telly, reactions. What do you think in terms of the Harris campaign? What could she have done differently? What did she do that wasn't enough to get her in the White House? Where did she go wrong, her campaign?
I would say it wasn't a matter of wrong, in my opinion. It was just, first of all, you got to fight off being part of the Biden administration. So that part was not helpful to you, because people couldn't separate the two. Like, okay, yeah, I was VP under Biden, but I'm still my own person if I get in the office. I think people still connecting her to Biden too much, and then your run is just too short. It's too short to get the influence that you needed. And I mean, I give her credit that she got as close as she did with that short of a campaign. So, it's hard. It's hard to win, but when you have an administration that everybody's unhappy with, Biden's approval rating was so low that he turned a lot of people off just to Democrats in general. So they're looking at Democrats like, nah, I don't want to do this again. So I think that was her issue. I wouldn't even say she did anything wrong. It's just she was just a product of too much negativity.
Yeah.
I got to underscore. Go ahead, Telly.
No, I was just going to say my reaction, Tony, I think that definitely mirrors what you're saying. I think that she merely ran out of time. She just didn't. I don't think there was. I think she ran a great campaign, but she had some things that she just couldn't separate herself from, and people were going to always connect it. And then there were just some things that, regardless of if it was just your thing or not, because let's just be real, let's put it out there. There were black men that were upset that she has a white husband, and then you got some, Jewish people out there that are mad that or thinking that there's no way we're going to let this black woman be the president of the United States. So you got those things, and then again, you're tied to a president that has a record low approval rating. I think those things is just a combination. But in terms of what she did and what she could control, I think she did everything the best that she could have possibly done in the amount of time she had.
I got to go back, Telly, to what Tony had mentioned, because I completely agree with him as it relates to separating herself from President Biden. I don't know if y'all remember, but I think it was about a week or two ago, Madam Vice President was a guest on the show The View, ABC's The View, and one of the co-hosts, Sunny, I forget her last name, she's a very beautiful woman, she asked Madam Vice President, would you have done anything differently than President Biden during the past 4 years? Madam Vice President responded, and I remember, Telly, when I saw this, because I was in some hotel room getting ready, and as soon as I'm literally like putting on my clothes, and I froze. I was like, great. I can't even curse. I was like, great question. And I'm leaned in, and Madam Vice President says, there is not a thing that comes to my mind. And Telly, when I tell you whatever article of clothing I had in my hand, I just dropped.
Yeah.
I was like, no. Because that's the whole point of why you're in this position. They wanted something new. Because here's the thing.
Yes.
Think about what Tony just said. That was such a huge miss on the campaign, or Harris's campaign. The reason why you're in this position, Madam Vice President, is because the Democratic Party wanted something new. And it was a whole lot easier to select someone who had already been in the White House for 4 years and had a trajectory in government and has a history of a successful political career. So when they ask you, because to me, Sonny was positioning her for success. That was a question that was intended to make Madam Vice President look even more strong.
Yeah, and I think
that was not a question. Yeah.
I think she probably looked at it as like, man, I don't want to say nothing bad about Joe.
And see, that was the problem.
Right. That's the problem.
That was the problem.
Politics.
It wasn't
you say whatever during the campaign.
Yeah.
She called him a racist when she was running against him, before. So
completely
no, but I know what you're saying.
But
that it was the loyalty part. But man, at that point, you got to be like, look, man, hey, there's some things that I just, I didn't agree with, but
you just gotta tell
I had to be a support system.
Joe, I'm gonna be out there on the campaign, and I gotta separate myself from you.
Yeah,
your approval rating is low. I mean, you got to have an honest conversation behind it. It is what it is, bro. People don't like you. I'm going to have to separate and say I would have done a whole bunch of stuff different.
Yeah.
If I was in charge. So, I mean, that was definitely a miss, I believe.
Yeah, and that was the thing. To both of your points, the loyalty to Biden, it overrode what Americans were looking for, because every time Americans would say, I don't know much about her, I don't know her, that is a perfect opportunity to differentiate yourself from the existing party or leadership that you're affiliated with. Like, I don't think Americans would have had any issue with Kamala Harris saying, I as much as I admire President Biden, and I completely am forever indebted to him for affording me this opportunity. However, with all due respect, I would do things differently. That is a healthy statement. Because you're still verbalizing your loyalty, but you're also differentiating yourself because America obviously wanted something new.
Denise, do you think it was a case where if she had said that, because you know the follow-up, if you say that, okay, what would you have done different?
But that's where that
did she have anything
more preparation for questions like that?
Correct.
Because here's the thing: like she's not going to go on any stage and not know what they're going to ask her. So her and her team had an opportunity to find something that could have been that middle ground.
But does that go back to the short amount of time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Because you're making all these decisions on the fly. Absolutely.
You know, there were when Vice President Al Gore ran for president, he did his absolute best to separate himself from Bill Clinton because of what was going on, the controversy, the Monica Lewinsky scandal, etc. So it's not like it's impossible to win an election if you say some things that, obviously contrast with the outgoing president. It's okay. I think the Democratic Party needs to understand Americans, we would not have thought anything less. Well, I don't want to speak for everybody, but for me, Telly and Tony, I would not have felt anything less about Madam Vice President's loyalty to the Democratic Party and President Biden if she would have said, yes, I will do things differently. This is what I would do. I don't think we would have taken that as no, she didn't.
Right.
No, she didn't. We're not like that. So, all right, we got another caller, 833-212-1017 is our Truth Talk and text. Okay, Ricky, one time is enough. When we come back, we're going to go to our Truth Talk and text line. So stay locked in. We want to continue to hear your reactions. This is the best morning show on planet Earth. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. Stay locked in.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. The Milwaukee Panthers hit the road Thursday night as they travel to Iowa to take on the Northern Iowa Panthers.
Jump pass for Polian left of the circle. Tries to answer and does. It's pure. A bomb from KP. He's got 15. Cleared by Calvin. Forecourt holding. He'll lob it up. Noel will send it down.
Scott Warris has the coverage Saturday starting at 6:30 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 7 o'clock.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Get the look you want for your home with customizable windows and doors from Pella. The durability of materials gets tested tens of thousands of times to ensure they last for years to come. Pella offers custom colors and innovative features like shades between the glass. And right now, celebrate Gina Della's 60th birthday with 0 for 60. Put 0 down, get 0 interest for up to 60 months. Hold your appointment on or before November 8th. Certain restrictions apply. Visit PellaWI.com.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. It's time to pivot. I know we still going to get back to reaction from the results from the election, but we are going to pivot because this is College Scholarship Month here on The Truth, and we're pleased to be joined by Victor Frazier from Educators Credit Union. He is the Director of Community Engagement. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning. How's it going today?
It is going. It is going. We were joking, off the air, but very, very peculiar time for you to be on our show. But nonetheless, we definitely appreciate you coming in and sharing some of this knowledge for a lot of the parents out there, especially like myself, who has a high school senior that are looking for those college scholarship dollars. Just tell us a little bit about what is the best way for these seniors to go about applying for scholarships. And I know that educators have a scholarship as well. Just tell us about how do high school seniors go about trying to get some of these dollars?
Sure. The first thing that a high school student needs to do and a high school family needs to do is actually apply for the FAFSA. It's the free application for student aid. In the title, it says free. So that is the number one tip off. If you ever get yourself in a situation where somebody is promising you a scholarship, or they're going to guarantee you a scholarship with some funds, right? They're going to ask you for a debit card or your account number. It's all free. Well, right now, I know we pivoted away from the government, but the FAFSA is not open right now because last year what the government did is they revamped the FAFSA form and application process. It hasn't been changed in about 15, 20 years. So they simplified it. But because they did that, they had some errors in the electronic side of it, right? So the website was crashing. There's some things that weren't happening that were supposed to. So it was supposed to open on October 1st. They're projecting to open it on December 1st now. Hopefully it'll be up and running by then. But that's your number one step, is get yourself through the FAFSA. Make sure you're applying for your own personal identification number. That's what you're going to use to sign the FAFSA. Both students and parents need to have their own number. I've counseled a lot of families, and usually what ends up happening is they get all the way through the FAFSA. They go to sign with their personal identification number. Oh, I didn't get that yet. I got all the way back, and I got to wait for the email to come through and all that fun stuff. Once you do get through, and once they do get it fixed, it is a lot faster than it has been in the past. So that's your number one step, file the FAFSA. Number two is start looking for scholarships, right? That is free money, scholarships and grants. I know when you talk to your kids, those parents that are listening, you're like, I know my child's going to be like, man, I don't want to write any essays. That's all they're going to be having me doing is writing essays about that. Here's my tip. Write 3 solid essays. 1, about how you're going to change the world. 2, how are you going to use their money? And 3, what makes you different? What makes you stand out as that explorer, that really, really great student, right? Use find and replace in your Word document. All the scholarships basically ask that question in some way, shape, or fashion. So you have those 3 solid scholarship essays in your toolkit. You're ready to go. And then just apply for as many as you can. I know there's some wonderful high-dollar scholarships out there in Wisconsin, but don't be humble or don't be thinking that a $250 scholarship is beneath you. Go for as much money as you can. The families that spend the most time and apply for the most scholarships are the ones that save the most money on their college costs.
We are joined by Victor Frazier, the Director of Community Engagement at Educators Credit Union. Again, Victor, thank you so much for making the time to share with us information as it is College Scholarship Month. Now, Victor, I would be remiss if I did not ask this question, because realistically, we've just learned who's going to be the next president of the United States, someone who has been very open about what he plans to do as it relates to the Department of Education, which has a lot of influence on how monies and scholarships and federal funds are allocated towards scholarships. Should there be any concerns, or should there be anything that we should be prepared to do differently as it relates to the college scholarships provided by Educators Credit Union?
I really think it's too soon to make that call. I know the comments that were made, dismantling the Department of Education. That's a really large task, right? If we really look at that, dismantling the whole Department of Education. So I think the number one thing is just keep your ear to the ground, be in contact with your school's counselors, and a lot of districts now have a career and college readiness coach or somebody there to help support you. Just be in contact with that person and just keep yourself informed about what's going on. Things that are not going to change no matter what happens going forward is making sure that your student is keeping a good resume, keeping all of those accolades, those notes from teachers, those accomplishments that they have achieved in their high school career. All of that's not going to change for your student. The process may change in the end, but as long as you are putting your student's best foot forward and you're following all of those things that are going to be coming down the pipe, it should be, I'm not going to say easy process because I don't want to be here 6 months from now saying that I told you it was going to be easy.
Yeah.
There's going to be changes coming, but change is the one thing that's constant, and we all know that. But I think just making sure that your student is taking challenging courses, is being realistic about what college or university they want to go to. We live in a digital age now, so parents, if you sit down with your student and they say, hey, I want to go to college X. Okay, cool. Let's look and see how much does college X cost, right? What do you want to do once you leave college X, student? I want to be this. Okay, let's look and see what that career is paying. Okay, well, you can't afford college X at $100,000 by the time you leave, and you're going to walk into a $45,000 a year job. The math just doesn't work. No matter if there's a Department of Education, no matter who is sitting as our president, that math ain't going to work anywhere.
Mm-hmm. And Victor, one more question before we let you go. Just when you're applying for these scholarships, we all know that there's only X amount of money that scholarship dollars have, and then once that's gone, that's gone. But what are some of the other ways that you can kind of mitigate the cost of college, where if the scholarships don't come through, what are some of the other options you can go?
Absolutely. One of the big things is a lot of districts now have dual credit classes. So you can actually start taking college credit classes while you're in high school, and they will transfer over to your college transcript. The other thing is look at it going to maybe a 2-year tech. MATC, Gateway. There are wonderful options. Get your gen eds out of the way at a lower cost and then transfer into your college or university that you want to go to. If it's Oshkosh, if it's UW Milwaukee, if it's UW Madison. So just make sure that you're having a conversation and seeing what credits are actually going to transfer, and then that dual credit is really important. One of the other things one of the tips I leave families for is that when you're applying for these scholarships, ladies and gentlemen, have your student make a separate Gmail account. We all know we get a ton of emails in our life, right? And one of the things that I find, unfortunately, is that sometimes you might miss a deadline because you didn't get the email or you didn't read the email in time. Your student's name, cash money, whatever you want to put in there at gmail.com, and use that one Gmail for all your scholarship applications. So you have one stop to look at. You have to scroll through hundreds of emails because you get a lot of emails nowadays and you might miss one. So try to keep yourself as organized as you can and make it a family event. Sit down and have a conversation about it.
Yeah, good tips. Victor, we appreciate you stopping by, letting us know again here on The Truth. It is College Scholarship Month, and we will be giving you information all month long. So does that mean you're going to stop back by at some point this month?
I would love to, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
For our member listeners, our scholarship is going to be opening up in January, and we have $35 $2,000 scholarships for members of the credit union. So you'll be getting an email, and you can apply right online.
Awesome. That is great information. Victor Frazier, Director of Community Engagement from Educators Credit Union, dropping some knowledge on these high school seniors and us parents that are trying to figure out if we're going to have enough money to send our kids to the school they want to go to. Thanks again, Victor.
Thank you so much for having me.
And when we return here on Truth Be Told with DT and Telly, more reaction from the results. Yes, we pivoted for a little bit, but now we want you to continue to hit us up, 833-212-1017. Let us know how you're feeling today about the results of the presidential election. More after the break.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Reproductive justice, it's a framework, it's a movement, it's a vision for reproductive freedom, it's a right to have a child, it's a right to not have children, and this next part is really as important as the other parts. It's the right to birth and parent our children with dignity, and the right to live and parent our children in safe and healthy environments. So reproductive justice understands the ability of any person to control their destiny is directly related to the conditions of their communities. It looks at the intersections of discrimination in social, political, and economic systems, and it sheds lights on the barriers that these systems produce. And then we, reproductive justice advocates, fight against the barriers that prevent Black people and other people of color from exercising their rights. That's reproductive justice.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
At Milwaukee College Prep, they believe that every child deserves a chance to reach their full potential. Unfortunately, in Milwaukee, this is not always the case. Research shows the educational opportunity gap between white and Black students is twice the national average. This is why Milwaukee College Prep is committed to eliminating this gap. In fact, MCP scholars tested advanced or proficient at a rate nearly 8 times higher than the other predominantly Black public schools in Milwaukee. Provide your student with the best educational opportunity by visiting MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com. College bound, character strong.
Truth Nation, let us take a second to brag for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like President Joe Biden.
Black child poverty was cut in half in 2021. We built Black wealth, 15 million jobs nationwide, more than 2.5 million for Black Americans. Black wealth is up 60% since the pandemic.
Former President Donald Trump's son, Eric Trump.
Guys, we almost had a former president and very likely future president assassinated on live TV. Like, you know what that would have done for this country? You know what that would have made our country look like? We would look like a banana republic.
And Brewers All-Star and former National League MVP Christian Yelich.
Listen, you already know.
Yeah, we got we were just in LA, so we heard our fair share of Kendrick out there in LA. Dodger Stadium has one of the best sound systems in baseball too.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app, listening live on 1017thetruth.com, and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Southbound on 43, backing up from just before Hampton down to Capitol Drive. We got some delays westbound from 35th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound 94 from about 76th Street all the way through the Stadium Interchange as well. Otherwise, we're looking pretty good across the whole area. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, mostly cloudy, a high of 55. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 40. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 1017 The Truth.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, good morning. We want you to know that at Old National Bank, they know there is nothing small about keeping up a small business. That's why they have developed their empowerment loan program to help give people of color and women-owned businesses equal access to funds up to $5 million. This substantial commitment shows that Old National Bank truly believes that every small business deserves the opportunity to change their community in a big way. Learn more today by visiting oldnational.com/empowerment loan. Old National Bank, get old. All loans are subject to credit approval. Minimum loan amount, $25,000. Additional program qualifications or restrictions may apply. For full details, contact an Old National small business banker. We are obviously covering the first day post the general election, and former President Donald Trump will be elected as the 47th president of the United States based on numerous projections. Now, we've been talking about the presidential election. Let's get into the Wisconsin election. Now, Telly, you were dropping some nuggets here. I didn't even realize that when Wisconsin votes were counted.
Yeah.
That is ultimately what put Trump
him
in
over
the White House.
Yes. And DT, we were talking about it before, during the break, that, for months and months at a time, we've been talking about how important Wisconsin was going to play in this election. And that wasn't just talk, because like DT just said, I mean, even if you go to, and I'll just throw the source out there, CNN.com, it says one of the front headlines reads, Trump's projected win in Wisconsin put him over the top with 276 electoral votes. And so when you hear, and going back, just in case you did not catch the beginning of our show, I read off some numbers, and as a part of my reaction to the results. And let's just keep in mind, if Wisconsin played that major of a role in President Trump being reelected, it says 21% of black voters in Wisconsin voted for Trump. 21%. And in 2016, I think that number was well below like 13%. So basically, it almost doubled what he got the first time around. 59% of the first-time voters in Wisconsin voted for Trump, and 49% of the voters between the ages of 18 and 29 voted for Trump. And so when you add all of that in, and knowing how important Wisconsin was, man, oh man, like, trust me, I've had a lot of people, DT, hitting me up saying, hey, man, what's up with y'all up there?
Well, you know what? At the end of the day, if you look at the national map, I mean, it is red, Telly.
Yeah.
It is like the GOP had big wins across the entire national map.
Mm-hmm.
Now, according to the Electoral College, Madam Vice President received 224 of the Electoral College votes. Trump received 277. And that's, once you get to that point, you won.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is according to the Associated Press. These are the most recent outcomes of the election. So as of now, according to the Associated Press, the U.S. Senate, and again, this is as of 8:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so just about an hour ago, 52 Republicans are now in the U.S. Senate. 42 are Democrat. Okay? 198 Republicans are in the U.S. House of Representatives, also known as Congress, and 180 are Democrat. Now, this, again, is based on the Electoral College. And so I know there are still some ballots that need to be accounted for, but Truth Nation, based on this most recent Associated Press results, election results, the GOP is winning, and they're winning big. They're winning across the presidential office, the U.S. Senate, and the House of Representatives. Now, in the state of Wisconsin, we have a huge U.S. Senate election, and as of this morning, the Democratic incumbent Tammy Baldwin is leading against the Republican challenger Eric Hovde, which could impact the balance of power in the Senate. So as of 8 minutes ago, and this is based on 98% of the reporting, so there's still 2% left, according to a local news affiliate. Baldwin votes 1,662,311 votes, which is 49.35%. Hovde, 1,635,204 votes, which is 48.55. So as of the most recent report, U.S. Senator out of Wisconsin, Tammy Baldwin, is the winner. But there are still votes, and Eric Hovde there's still votes that are pending. Eric Hovde has not conceded.
Yeah. Yeah, and just trying to get as much information to the, up to the second. If Baldwin does, in fact, win, which she has already declared victory, but like DT just said, Eric Hovde has not conceded, the race yet. This will be the first split ticket in Wisconsin since the 1968 presidential race, where if Trump wins the White House, Baldwin set to take the Senate in a battleground state. So these things just keep getting more and more interesting, and because typically you don't see that. You don't see a split ticket. Most of the time when they're the Republican or whatever party is winning most of the states, I mean, that's what it is. It rarely is a split. Like I said, since the first time since 1968, there will be a split if in fact things stay the way they are.
Well, definitely more to come, and we're going to.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff going on, and
man, Trump, only the second time he's someone had a non-consecutive second term. A lot of new stuff going on.
Man, oh man.
Oh, and we forgot, this is the first time ever in the U.S. history where a president has been elected not based on a consecutive 2 terms, 8 years, but also convicted and impeached twice. Convicted felon, impeached twice. The country has spoken. The country has spoken.
They got marbles in their mouth, but they spoke.
I got to say this in all seriousness. If you don't, if you don't believe in a higher power, this probably isn't for you. But for those that are listening that do believe in a higher power, you're a person of faith, please, please pray for Madam Vice President. This is a huge loss for her. As a human being, whether you voted for Trump or Harris, please keep her in your prayers. Because when you, and I'll just say this, when you are a person who has had to work 10 times harder just to be in the room, not even viewed as a leader, but just to get in the room, and then you have to work 20 times harder to become an attorney general, or let me start, district attorney, attorney general, and then U.S. Senate, become a U.S. senator, and then to be chosen as the vice president, to lose to someone like Donald Trump. And when I say that, when that's like Telly, we've talked about this. You and I have a trajectory in broadcasting journalism, and it started at a very young age. For me, since I was 3 years old. And so if I were to lose to someone who has had zero experience in terms of how they got to the White House in the first place, that is the worst feeling, to lose to someone that has not had to do a fifth of what you've had to do.
Yeah.
To lose to Donald Trump as someone who has had a trajectory of education, highly visible elected official positions, all the way up to the second most powerful position, to lose to Donald Trump, please pray for Kamala Harris. Because black women, we already know why she lost.
Yeah. And I also too want everyone to remember that, the reason why President Biden dropped out of the race, because people say, oh, he's too old and this, that, and the other. Let's remember, you don't get that old overnight. So let's not think that, okay, 2 years from now, 3 years, let's just say 3 years from now, when he's 81 years old and he doesn't have the cognitive skills that you think, he needs to lead the nation. Let's not forget that we understand that he is 78 right now. So he's only going to get older. And so don't complain when, things start to get unhinged and then you're like, oh, wow, I never saw this coming. Sure you did. Because, again, just the same way Joe Biden didn't become 81 overnight, Donald Trump's not going to become 81, 82 overnight. And at the end of his presidency, that's exactly what the age he will be.
On our Truth Talking text line, Ann says Trump won the popular vote. And your point is? I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, what was he won? I think everybody at this point doesn't really like, okay, whether he won the popular vote or the Electoral College vote, because Madam Secretary Hillary Clinton won the popular vote when she ran against Trump. So it is what it is. He will be the 47th president of the United States. Mm-hmm. So when you say he won the popular vote, trust and believe, people who did not vote for Trump, we don't care. All we know is that he will be the 47th president of the United States. So you said that to say what, Ann? 833-212-1017.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Truth Talking text line. Mm. Now, yeah, it's like, and your point is, be ready, y'all, because these are the kind of things that you're going to have to. All I will say is, and with all due respect to everybody that has to go to work today, I am so glad I'm an entrepreneur today. I have not been so happy to be an entrepreneur than I have ever been in my life. I would not want to go to any predominantly white work environment today. I am sorry. I'm keeping it 101.7 the truth.
Yeah, and as soon as you said that, Matthew hit us up on our YouTube message board and said, took a PTO day today.
Man, Matt, you are so smart. Now, that is worth it. That is worth a PTO day. I feel you. Because, it's like, and you know what, quite frankly, Tony and Telly, I'm so sick and tired of talking about it. I'm so sick and tired of talking about why black women feel the way that we do, yet we still show up for everybody else. Black women, please, in the name of the Most High, rest. Take as much time as you need. And a lot of people, they don't get it. I know y'all hear me when I say that. What do you mean rest? That's the problem. She's being racist. She's always got to bring up race. Black women, take some time off. I am speaking to you. Now, we were talking about the campaign of Harris. What could she have done differently? Where did we go wrong? Where did the Democratic Party go wrong? And Telly and Tony, the reality is too, she was dealt some pretty heavy cards because she had been conditioned to basically support President Joe Biden in this re-election campaign. And then Sunday morning where she received the phone call saying that from President Joe Biden saying, I'm stepping out the race. You got it. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, it's a term that we are definitely familiar with, DT, but that's called being stuck between a rock and a hard place. It was definitely tough. And again, for what the amount of time that she had and what she was able to do in that amount of time was extremely impressive. And we can only, and that's the only messed up thing about this. Well, there are other messed up things, but the true messed up thing about it is we will never know how this would have turned out if she had a full campaign, a full 4 years or 2 years or even a year to run
Telly,
for it.
Maybe I'm just being I'm just too emotional right now, but it would have been the same.
Yeah.
It'd have been the same.
We don't know.
Okay, let me say it to you this way. Whether she would have started when Biden started, she still Trump will be the 47th president of the United States.
Yeah,
that's all I have to say.
Yeah, that's the only thing we can say.
Because now I feel like I'm just saying the same thing over and over again. And I don't think that if she would have started her campaign earlier, because Hillary Clinton,
Yeah.
And she's a white woman, started at the same time.
Well, that's
and lost
true.
against Trump.
Yeah. Hey, we will never know.
And won the popular vote.
Yeah, and won the popular vote. Yeah, we don't.
And thank you, Ann, for clarifying. So, Ann, she responded and said that Electoral College is under attack. Okay, now that makes sense. Because when you just said Trump won the popular vote and that was it, I was like, Ann, your point is. So, Ann is saying Trump won the popular vote. Electoral College is under attack. And we've reported on that the other day, Telly. We talked about how there have been a number of organizations that are challenging the constitutional amendment that is specific to the Electoral College process.
I'm not feeling the Electoral College. I don't know what that whole thing is about. It's a vote is a vote.
It's only 200 years old, and
but I'm just saying I don't even get why it was started.
Yeah. Well, it was started because they just didn't want. They wanted Congress to have some say in who the next president is going to be. They just didn't want to give full, transparency or responsibility.
Full power to the people.
Yeah, full power to the people. Absolutely. So that was their way, but that's something that definitely needs to be.
Just go popular vote.
Yeah. Let's just go popular vote. Yeah, let's go popular vote. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to say really quick, on our YouTube message board, Tiffany T says, I am so thankful, and I'm a black woman. Why are you thankful? I'm curious. I'm literally curious. No judgment here. I'm just curious as a black woman, why are you? Because when you say things like, I am so thankful, and I'm a black woman, what are you so thankful about?
Yeah.
Please help me understand.
Well, and while you are doing that, we want to encourage Truth Nation. Now is your chance to be our one call. That's all 5K Gruber giveaway entry for the day. Yes, you can be entered to win $5,000 courtesy of Gruber Law Offices. Be caller number 7 right now at 833-212-1017, and you will be entered in to win the $5,000 giveaway with the award-winning 1017 The Truth and Gruber Law Offices. Again, that is caller number 7 at 833-212-1017. Remember, if you or a loved one has been injured in an accident, contact Gruber Law Offices today. Visit them at gruber-law.com for official contest rules. Visit 1017thetruth.com.
When we come back, Telly and I will give you our Truth of the Matter along with our guest co-host, Tony Smith, who's in the building. Truth of the Matter coming up next, and make sure that you stay locked in because we will have Professor Sherwin Hughes at the 9 o'clock hour, followed by 9 hours of live consecutive Black Talk Radio. And I know, Milwaukee, we have a lot to talk about today. So stay locked in. We will be back.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices, and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call That's All Gruber Cash giveaway is now a 5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the 5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
There's something about a plate of warm cookies that sends you back in time. Relive your childhood memories with this year's We Energies Cookie Book. Pick up your copy and start creating new memories. Go to weenergies.com to find a distribution event near you. Thank you for making us a part of your family traditions. From all of us at We Energies, we offer you warm wishes for a bright holiday season. This message was paid for by the stockholders of WEC Energy Group.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Looking for a deal? Well, Cousin Subs has a better deal just for you. Cousin's new $10 meal deals are now available online only. Choose between a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub, a bag of chips or regular fry, a regular fountain beverage, and cookie at cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app for just $10. Now that's a better deal. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. Available at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
All right, Truth Nation, thank you so much again for tuning in. We greatly appreciate you. Check this out, y'all. I know that things may feel, for a number of us, very heavy. And it's easy to feel like giving up, and rightfully so. I'm saying this to myself as I'm saying this to you. It's part of my truth of the matter. Every setback is a part of the story. And even the most challenging days, we as Black people, they have continued to build our strength, our resilience, and quite frankly, even our wisdom. So you've already made it through so much in life, and you're here. So please do not let this one moment define you and our community. We're going to take this one day at a time. We're going to breathe, and we're going to keep our hearts full with love and focus on possibilities and not problems, because that's just what we do. So continue to believe in you, believe in your family, believe in those that support you, because there is so much that is in you and in us as a community that is worth fighting for. So please do not quit, do not give up, and know that it is much bigger than any one person. I love you. I love you so much, and I'm sending love and positive energy to you.
I'm just gonna say, sit back. Like Republicans, y'all won. Don't need the gloating. Don't need the debating. Just sit back and let the guy you picked and let that administration do what it is you think they're going to do. Now that's the thing. I don't know if people just be careful what you wish for, right? You thought that he was going to get in there, he's going to do something. I don't know if that's what's going to happen in reality. Now he's got the Senate, got the House, so it should, right? You got control of everything. You should be able to do what you want to do. But we're going to see it, because promises is one thing and reality is another thing. So I'm just going to sit back and watch. I'm not going to say anything about anything. I'm not going to be mad about who won. And people shouldn't gloat either. Just sit back and let it unfold.
Yeah. My truth of the matter is we had talked a lot about November 5th, Election Day, everything that's at stake and everything that goes into the decision to vote and what's going on in our country. We've talked all about that to basically nausea, but we also had to make sure that we remember that November 6th was going to come after November 5th. And there was going to be reaction from both sides. It didn't matter who won. There was going to be a strong reaction, because there was so much intensity and feelings and things that were put into your candidate in this election. And so now the results are what they are, and let's just try to find the best way to move forward. It doesn't mean that you have to change your plans. You have to change what you want to see happen in the future. It's just time to start planning and trying to execute your plan. It's my truth of the matter.
Get your passport.
That could be part of the plan.
All right, Truth Nation. Thank you again so much. More to come. Stay locked in. 9 more hours of live consecutive Milwaukee Black Talk Radio. Kicking us off, Sherwin Hughes. I know he's going to have a lot of great information. And keep calling in 833-212-1017. We love you, Truth Nation. We will be back tomorrow, Lord willing. I'm about to go to the gym. I got a lot of energy, Telly and Tony. I'm about to do some free weights today. Just get all that resistance going.
Don't hurt yourself.
Man. All right, y'all. We love you. Make it a great day, and we will see and hear y'all tomorrow, Lord willing.
Peace out.
Truth Nation!
And all our juicy jammers out there.
Make certain that you tap into Jam with Juice each and every day so you can quench your thirst.
That is right.